Y'all be dating, y'all need to ask these men, what was the dynamic in the household?
Y'all be asking men how much money they make and how big is it. You need to find out how that man was raised. And there's nothing against men who are raised by single mothers. And it's not that there's something wrong with a single mother, it's the lack of them having a male figure. If a man was raised with no male figures at all, like no godfather, no uncles, no brothers, no grandfather, someone who was a male figure, there's going to be a dysfunction there. You're going to have some problems with him. And what's crazy is I was raised in a two-parent household, and there was still toxicity in the household, but there's certain things that people who grew up in a two-parent household do that other people who only grew up in a single-parent household don't do. And I just feel more comfortable dating people who grew up in a two-parent household, because whenever I dated men who were raised by single moms, them being providers was so foreign for them. They even kind of looked for me to kind of be like a mommy to them or a caretaker for them, because that's all they saw growing up. A lot of them didn't even see their moms getting flowers or getting taken out on dates or just having romantic gestures. She hid that. Some moms wanted to protect their sons and hide them from seeing them going on dates or getting flowers or gifts or, being wined and dined by men. And I respect that. But it is a complete different experience. Thank God, the person I'm dating right now grew up in a household. Wasn't perfect. Like my household wasn't perfect. But it just flows because he knows the role of a man and I know the role of a woman. And this is very important. You could date whoever you want to, but you are going to come into issues and clash sometimes. If you're a person who was raised in a two-parent household and you go to date somebody who wasn't, there's going to be a clash there. I remember I was friends with this guy. We met in like 2018, 2019. And I couldn't understand this guy. He claimed to have a master's degree. He had his own business. He seemed intelligent to me. We were good friends. We would do podcasts together. We would do lives during the pandemic together. I found this guy to be a great catch. Not for me, but a great catch. So during the pandemic, I ended up dating a guy who grew up in a two-parent household, and we clicked instantly. And sometimes I would share nice things that my man at the time would do for me, and I would tell my male friend, and my male friend kept saying, he's trying to make you dependent on him. And I was like, what are you talking about? I have my own money. He's making me dependent because he pays for dates and buys me gifts? What are you talking about? So I noticed that this male friend of mine, that I didn't know much about his upbringing because we just made friends in 2019, I noticed that he kept getting ghosted by very successful women. So I was trying to figure out, why is this guy who has a master's degree, he's so intelligent, he's a lot going on for himself, why does he keep getting ghosted by women? And I found out why. Because he was raised by a single mom and he never saw his mother getting gifts, having dates, being treated well, struggling, working two jobs, that is what he thought that his lover should be. And we started to have a conversation, and I said, let me ask you a question. If you were in a relationship and your girlfriend said to you, babe, I need $50 because my phone bill is about to be cut off, would you loan her the money or would you give her the money? He said, I wouldn't give my girlfriend the money, period. And that's when I knew, wow, that's why these women keep cutting him off. Not that these women needed money from him, because they had their own, but women need to feel safe if they're ever in a situation. He did not provide that safety. And that's something that I know is a lot of men who were raised by single moms, is their mother was their safety. She figured everything out. So in his mind, he thinks that all women should always figure things out for herself. I don't need to help her. Moral of the story is, yes, just because he has money does not mean that he's going to help you. Figure out how he was raised. What is his natural dynamic. Is he naturally a provider? Don't worry about, oh, if he got money, does he dress nice, is it big, is he good in bed? Figure out what is his mindset, what is his natural default. And before you say, yes, I know there are married single women, there are some people who actually watch their mothers who are married struggle as well and pay all the bills and be husband and wife and mommy and daddy. But still, interview these people, find out how they were raised, and that's going to tell you everything.